Hi everyone, Emma here. I'm so excited to show you how to make a lovely bracelet. So this is basically the finished piece, but we're gonna take this and put the clasp on at the end. So we'll leave that one there. But what we are gonna do is we're gonna do the blue colors. So these are Australian crystal rice beads, they call them. So they are really lovely. And actually, I think somebody had sent me an email asking about these beads, and I searched high and low for them. Finally, she had a picture of a bracelet that somebody sent her or gave her, and she wasn't sure what these beads were or where she could get them. So anyway, I did manage to find them, and they've been in my stash, of course, for a while. So I thought it was time to do something. I'm trying to come up with some more ideas on different ways to do a specific stitch. So definitely this is a really cool, this is so simple. It's right angle weave. But if you change the shape of the beads and the size of the beads, you can get a totally different look. And that is how I came up with this. So this is pretty much it. Now I do think that at some point I'm going to extend this bracelet on either side with some embellishment, and take a look at this. Put something like this. Beautiful snowflake. I think my camera is not in focus. Let me see here. That's better. So have that at the front of, but definitely, have it extended a bit. But yeah. So in the meantime, we are going to put a clasp on this one. So let's take a look at what I have here. I did try this colorway with these blue metallic 11O seed beads, and I didn't quite like the way it looked. I thought it was like too much kind of blue color. And I think I want these to kind of stand alone and sparkle with the faceting. So really cool. But I mean, definitely, it's still nice. But we are going to use these lovely 11O seed beads, and they are metallic silver. I think it's probably my most favorite silver of the seed beads is the metallic silver. Now, the other thought that I had was possibly doing putting a Ado seed bead in between the pearls, so you can kind of see the thread here. So it's almost like there should be a second bead there, but at a glance, when you look at it, it looks really nice. So I don't think it needs anything more, but definitely there is an option to add a second 11O to each set. And so you can see here, however I did that, it ended up leaving quite a gap. But again, when you look at it at a distance, you really don't see it. So, and the gold beads are awesome. My light's not as bright as I would like it. So I have 4mm Preciosa gray pearls. They're iridescent, so they have a bit of a blue tinge to them already. And then, of course, the blue metallic color of these. I did find a link. I can't find these in my account, but I did find a seller that has these type of beads. They don't have the metallics, but I'm going to take a look again tonight. So if you're interested in the metallics, as you can see, the gold is amazing. I have a darker, like a bronze color. Let me show you. I have a bunch of different colors of these guys. Look at these. Oh, they're amazing. So I'll try and find the one that has the metallics of these. I'm sure I'll find it. But if you're specific on these, just let me know and I will do my best to find that seller. Then there's these. These are like kind of bluey, but then they're mixed in with some yellows. So they have a bit of a vitriol kind of look to them. But they're super cool. And you can get these. So let me tell you the size of these. These are 4x6, and you can actually get them, I think, 6x9. So they're quite a bit larger. Let me get my ruler to show you. So right there, there's the 6. And let's put that up to the 9. So you can imagine the 9 would be that much bigger. So you could do some really cool stuff. Actually, you know what? We should get some 9s and make one of these even bigger. I'm obsessed. Oh, okay, those go there. Behave. Okie dokie pokey. We got our needle. I'm just using a size 10 needle. And for thread, I am using the Dragon Thread number 5. So far, I haven't had any issues. These are crystal, so they are sharp on the inside. And I find with right angle weave, I'm pulling on my thread a lot. So I did notice my thread kind of unraveling a bit, and it's supposed to be fused together, right? But I do find that the number 5s they tend to kind of shred a bit. So you might want to go up by one, is what I'm getting at. I've got a little less than a wingspan, but I would definitely do a wingspan if you're making the full bracelet. This bracelet, let me get my ruler. This one here is 7 centimeters, just short of 7 centimeters. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. So I would say 30. I think these come in 50s. That's how they sell them. So you could definitely make a bracelet with one set. If you're planning on making 2 sets or maybe doubling the width, so doing a whole other row on the other side, which is something you could do. You could have this pearl be the combined, like this row of pearls be your combined pearls, and then say do something like this, so then you have a second row, and it would widen your bracelet into a cuff. So you might need 2 sets, just saying. Okay, so I have my 11 O's here. So we're basically just doing right angle weave. So we're going to go ahead and start. I'll start with a 11 O seed bead. Then you're going to put one of your rice beads, then another 11 O. So you're always putting an 11 O in between your bead. Did I get that right? Think about that. Another, I should have an 11O, which this should work around. There's my 4mm pearl. No, I did that wrong. It should be a dot and an 11O, and then a pearl. I have like 5 different designs on my desk that I'm working on, so I apologize. I'm like, okay, which one am I on here? And it just, I want to make sure there's enough light here for you. Okay, so this is what you need. So you're basically alternating a rice bead with a pearl, and you're putting a 11O in between each. So we're going to take this to the bottom, and we're going to put it into a loop, which is our right angle. You know how many times I've done this and I pull the thread right through? I'm like, oh, now you're going to tie this in a knot. We need to thread through. So this is what you want. Now I'm going to put a couple of knots in this. And you can leave a tail on this end if you want to incorporate your clasp into your bracelet. I like to do it separate in case the clasp comes off. You're not going to lose all your beads. And I'm just going to cut that. Now, just going to go through my pearl like that. And move that up so you can see. Make sure that's there. There's more light. And I'm going to put little tails sticking out. You can use your thread burner for that, or you can just tug it a bit. It'll get hidden in the bead. Okay, so now what you're going to do is you're going to skip your 11-0 and you're going to go through your rice bead. You can go through your seed beads, but basically what I'm doing is I'm setting it up for the next set. Now, you know what? I think I'm going to go through again, because what I want is these seed rice beads to be snug against the pearl. That's what really gives it the look, because otherwise, if you do this, if I pull them out a bit, it's totally, for me anyway, it's a different look. But so I'm going to go around that 11-0 and just go through the pearl. And see why that's got a knot in here. There. I do find this thin dragon thread tangles a lot easier. So go through the rice bead. Okay, skip the 11-0, go through the pearl. That. And if this happens where you see your thread, your 11-0 is kind of going in between, just pull it out to the edge and then pull your thread and it will pop the bead in place. There, everything's where I want it, nice and, so now it's like nice and tight. Now we're going to skip that 11-0 again, and we are going to go through the rice bead, and we're setting up for the next set of beads. That. There, everything's nice and tight. Okay. So now we're going to pick up a pearl, an 11-0, a rice bead, a 11-0, and another pearl. Okay, so this is what you should have. So your first one looks like this. The next ones are the 3 beads rather than the 4, because now we've got a combined bead of that rice bead. So take these guys. You're coming out of this rice bead. You're going to go to the other side of the rice bead and go through it. Through like that. And pull everything through. Yeah, I think this looks nicer with the silver. Go through. So now we're going to reinforce everything without the 11-0s so that it's nice and tight up against the pearls. So go through the rice bead, skipping the 11-0. And again, don't worry about that. It just pop your needle in there and pull your thread and it will put it in place. Skip the 11-0, go through the purl. So right angle weave is one of my favorites. I just feel that it's probably the simplest and the most creative. So you can start out with your right angle weave and then you can add all kinds of embellishment to your beads. It's really cool. So now we're going to go through the previous rice bead. So everything is still a bit loose on this side, but once we get through here, it will tighten up. So now everything is tight. My thread is always, there we go. So now go through the purl. And I'm still pulling tight and go through the rice bead. Like that. And I'm going to pull that there. Pick up your 4mm pearl, your 11-0, your rice bead, and another pearl. Like that. This would look cool, just this lined up like this in a row. Very nice. The blue and the silver looks amazing together. Okay, so we're coming out of this rice bead. We're going to go through the rice bead, skipping the 11-0s. Sometimes you need a little kind of maneuvering through that space. Now I'm just going to move this so I can get into these beads. Go through your 4mm pearl and pull it snug. So now we're going to tighten this next to the pearls. So you skip the 11-0, go through the rice bead, skip the next 11-0, go through the pearl, and let's make sure that goes to the outside. Pull your thread, go through your rice bead, pull it tight, there, go through your pearl, and pull it tight, go through your rice bead, and start all over. So pick up a pearl. Let me grab these over here. Pick up a pearl, an 11-0, a rice bead, an 11-0, and a pearl. Just like that. You're coming out of this rice bead. We're going to go through the other side, creating a loop, and that's your right angle weave. That through. I'm going to flip it just to make it easier. Go from the bottom through your pearl, like that. Pull. Skip your 11-0, go through the rice bead, and get that bead out of the way there. Then go through your pearl, skipping the 11-0. There. Sometimes if you push it down, you can skip. And that's so when you're doing right angle weave, the thing that I find the most frustrating is trying to get a nice like tightness of the group of beads. So one of the hints is to always go in the direction the thread is going. So we're going in this circle, so your thread, if you pull it this way, it will bring everything together. If I pulled it out this way, it would stretch, like bring that, open it kind of thing. So definitely, that was a huge help learning that trick. And again, for this design, I am finding that until I get back to the rice bead again, things get a bit loose, but if you just give it a little tug like that, it's a little more maybe, everything's in place. So let's go through the pearl. We'll do it one more time and then we'll put the clasp on the other. So you're basically going to do this right angle weave for the full bracelet, and that is it. Like, look at how beautiful. But you can definitely add some embellishments. You can do like picot with some seed beads all the way along. So let's go through the rice. Hey honey, we're having rice for dinner. Oh wait, it's rice beads. So let's pick up a 4mm pearl, an 11-0, a rice bead, an 11-0, and a 4mm pearl. Like that. We are coming out of the rice bead. So if you've seen me, normally I'm coming from this end, but I am moving my stuff around as it goes around in the square or the circle. So, you know, hopefully that's not confusing for you. I think if you're starting out and it is confusing, it's good to start, always hold it the same way. And until you know that doesn't matter, you know, if you put it down, you can pick it back up and know exactly where you're at. But, you know, when you're starting out, those kind of things I had a hard time figuring out. And I've got some old bracelets that I made doing designs from Mila's beading. And I'm like, I can't believe I couldn't figure out what she was saying. Like, it just, like, her instructions are so straightforward, and the designs are very doable for anybody starting out. So, but we all think differently, and you know, some people are visual learners. That's how I am for sure. So I'm just continuing to go in my little circle pattern. Just watch your thread doesn't get tangled like that. And then through the pearl. And we'll stop at this point. So definitely keep going. Let me know if you have these beads or if you've had them in the past. They're really amazing. I'm so into the sparkle these days. What? So there's the blue. So eventually, maybe by the time I post this video, there'll be a new, the blue color will be finished. So we're going to put a clasp on this. So let's move these guys over. And we're going to put this clasp. So I have another needle. Okay, this one has a thread on one side, so we're going to attach it through here. And you know what? I have no clue how we're putting this clasp on. That's a lie. I have an idea. You know what? I say to my wife, honey, I have an idea. She's like, oh, I don't know. So this is the clasp. It's a beautiful gold-plated fold-over clasp that I got from BB Craft. I think it came in a set of 5. I think they average about $1.20 or $1.30 each. So they have a sale on right now, so keep an eye on the sale. This is how it opens. Like that. So we're going to attach one side. I'm going to close this one up. Okay, so my thought is that we're going to add some pearls to each side, because if you look at this, say this sits here, there's no place to hook it. You could take some seed beads and create just kind of a V shape going into the clasp. You could do that. I'm trying. There's different variations of that where you can use, say, a pearl to hold the thread at the top and then some seed beads behind it, things like that. I think we'll put a pearl on each end and some seed beads. So we need 4 pearls. Two for that one. These pearls, I think, are cream color. This is the Preciosa 4mm pearls. They're kind of white and cream colors. I can't remember the names. There's like 4 or 5 different variations. There's like an ivory. There's this. There's an antique. So if you really want to know, just ask me and I'll look it up. I need to make my own little cheat sheet with the beads and have the names on it ready. So let's get some seed beads. So I'm using the yellow gold galvanized 11Os, and they are lovely. So like I said, you could probably use, I don't need that many, but you could probably use an 8O bead in between, and I will do a bracelet using that and let you know how it works. And I'll also do one with 2 beads in between each pearl and see how that works. So let's start with our pearl. I feel like if I want this flat, I'm going to have to put a little jump ring here. And you know what? I don't like putting jump rings where my thread's going through, because your opening of your jump ring is your thread's gonna pass through it. So you know what I think we need is a French, or not a French wire, you could do a French wire, but I think we need a wire guardian and a tiny jump ring. So let's get that. Finish this up. Oh, here, this is all we need, is these little ones. There's 2. And see with my French, or my wire guardians. So these are all gold plated as well. You can really kind of make these super nice if you're doing them as gifts. There, see how nice and tiny that one is. So let's grab that one. I think this one is tiny too, but it's spread out. Let me grab another Oh, I see one. So I have my findings in a container like this. Ooh, that one's really tiny. You know what? I'm going to get my tweezers for this. There. Nice and tiny to kind of match the bracelet. I'm going to put these back. That one looks misshapen here. No, it's fine. So I hope everybody's doing well. My my mood is improving, so I'm super happy about that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to position the beads where I want them to get an idea how many seed beads I need to add. So this, I want this, to sit this way so that it will, actually it doesn't matter. Okay, let's put this aside. Didn't think this one through. Okay, so this one's gonna sit like this, and then this jump ring is gonna sit like this, and it's gonna hook into that and that. So that's what I was trying to get at. And if you, these clasps are strange in that way, and I don't know why they do it, but I'm sure there's a reason. So this one goes up and down, and this one goes side to side, and it's the same clasp. So it may affect the other side, but so right now I'll just do that. So let's see how many beads we need to get to that. Let's do, I want to say 9. Let's try 9, and then we'll take some off if it's too much. These are pretty small, so there's 4 and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. Yeah, I think that's too much. So I want an uneven number because I want one bead to sit between the French wire, or the, sorry, I keep saying that, wire guardian. So let's take 2 off. So we'll keep it an uneven number. So now we have 7. Trying to separate, there you go. 3 and 4. Okay. So for the first one, we're not going to go through, and I'll tell you why. Because we want to skip a bead, but it needs to be on there. So now I just put the second pearl on. I'm going to go through the rice bead. So you see what I'm getting at? This bead here is going to go in between the wire guard. So I think what I'd like to do is go through a few times and then add this. So let's just flip this for making it easier here. So go through the pearl and all the seed beads. And go through the rest. Go through the rice bead. Try and get past that 11-0. There, like that. I'm going to go through one more time before I add the wire guard. I want to make sure this is not going anywhere. There. Keep going. Just going to bring this down a bit. And you can actually go further down as well when you're attaching the clasp. I sometimes do that. There. Now we're going to go up through the pearl. I've gone through 2 there. We want to go through, we have 7 on here. So it's 3 and 3 and the middle one. So you're going to go through 4. Sorry, no. I'm going to go through 3 because we're going to skip the middle one. So let me just show you what I've done here. Okay, so go through 3. Take your wire guardian, go up through the 1 hole, like that. Bring it all the way down. Go around and go down through the 2nd hole. Pull it in. Okay. You're going to skip that middle bead. You're going to go down through your 3 11/0s and through your pearl. That. There. Okay, make sure your thread is on the channel. Okay, we're going to do that at least once more. You can go do it 3 times if you want. I'm pretty sure that twice is going to be enough. So go through your 3, and you can probably line up your needle to go through the wire guardian at the same time. So go up through the wire guardian like that. Through. Go down through the other side of the wire guardian and go through your 3. You can go through your pearl if you can get through it. Now what I like to do is I want to make sure this thread is going to stay on this channel, is I hold the channel between my fingers, and that prevents it from jumping. So there, it's perfect. Now go through your pearl. That. Okay. I am going to go through the rice bead like that. Okay. Now I'm going to go down this side to tie off, and then we'll do the other side. So I'm going to go through the pearl and the rice bead. Okay. So now I'm going to just put my thread over that 11/0. I'm going to bring my needle between the beads here, and so I'm just holding it with my fingers. Take my thread, go around twice, and hang on to that so it doesn't jump that bead. That happens a lot. Just pull tight, and then we can weave this in a few beads, and we can add another knot further down. There. When I pulled it, I felt it pop into the bead, so it hides that knot. So I'm going to do that again, but on the other side, and then we should be ready. If you want, you can go through the whole bracelet to get to the other end and just reinforce it, but it really doesn't need it. Let me do this here. So now I'll put my knot here. So I'm going to go through like this. So just go around that 11/0. Take your thread and bring it down towards the bead and hang on to that so it doesn't jump over that seed bead and pull it through like that. Bring it in here. It will tuck that knot inside the rice bead. I'm just looking at this, make sure it's not, yeah, that was me. I just poked my thread. It's a good thing we're ending here on this. There we go. Just make sure that didn't go. There we go, perfect. And we can cut this off. Okay, so that is what we have here. So now we can add the jump ring and the clasp. My tools. I'm trying to find the opening here. There it is. And always twist apart like that to open your jump ring. And let's pop that on there. Like that. And then put this one on here. Again, now you're twisting together. There, like that. Perfect. Okay, let's do the other side. This side's going to be confusing because the orientation's going to be different. So let's see. Maybe we skip the jump ring. I have to think about that. So make sure, well, I guess it doesn't matter which side because this is the top side of the clasp. So this part opens up. But this is basically a two-sided bracelet, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so let's get this guy here. So that means, but see, that won't go through there. You know what we need? So there is a solution. We need two jump rings. And you know what? I have some oval ones, small oval ones that are really pretty, that are gold. Let's see if I can. Okay, these are the round ones. Oh, there's I was like, there they are. So sneaky. So this way it looks like it's a piece of chain. So I only need one for this. I mean, I could put two, but I think I'll put one of these and then one of these ovals. And that will change the orientation so that we're all set. Okay, sweet. I need my pearls and these guys and my beads and my thread. So now to attach, it's basically the same way. I leave a little bit of a tail, so I'll start like a little bit down, so maybe through this one here, this, and it's just going through the rice bead. So I usually take my fingers and kind of hang on to this tail as I'm doing the knot. I don't want it to kind of slide out, and I've had it happen a lot where it does. So I'm taking my needle, I'm going to pick up the thread bridge here like that. So now pinch it with your fingers, take your other hand and bring your thread around and close to the bead Do it twice, like that, and hold everything. Push your needle through. You can see how the knot has come out a bit. So let's just make sure that it doesn't jump that bead. Okay, and I'm going to take this piece and pull it a bit and then pull them. And there's my first part. So you don't have to do it this way. Really cool way that Stephanie from Bronze Pony does it is she puts a stop bead with a tail, and then she just weaves in a bit and then does her clasp and everything, and then she takes the stop bead off, and then she takes this piece and creates the knots the way I showed you on the other side. So you can do that too if you're worried about doing it this way. So now I'm going to go up through this pearl. That. I think there's a knot here. Okay, again, pull that other side so it doesn't, just so your knot doesn't just slide around the thread. I'm going to change directions by going through here, and I'm going to put another knot. So I feel like 2 knots on either end of this thread is sufficient. There. So let's go through the pearl and do the knot there. Okay, so I'm going to take the thread bridge that's going to go through here. So I'm just going to bring my needle down and go like that. And I try and bring it as close as I can to the beads. It's once and twice, and then bring my thread around that bead that I want it to stay. There. Okay. And now go through this rice bead. Like that. There. So now I'm going to cut that tail that I started with. Just to get it out of the way, you can do that at the end. Pick up your pearl. Then you're going to pick up 7 beads. I think we'll do the same as we did here, this kind of thing. But you could just do enough so it crosses from the pearls to each other. So, but for consistency, we'll do it this way. There's 3. So there's a pearl and 7, and add another pearl. That. Coming out of this side, we're going to go into this side. That. So we're going to do that a few times, and then we'll add our clasp. So let's go through. And go through these guys. Don't worry if it's loose like this, because we're going to tighten it coming through the rice bead. Like this. There. So I tightened it. So now let's go through here. We're going to go through 3 beads like that, including the pearl. Then we're going to go through the wire guardian. So go through from the bottom, come around Around the top, there's a little channel there for your thread. Go down the wire guardian. You're going to skip a bead. So you're coming out of this one. You went through your 3. You're going to skip 1. Then you're going to go through 3 11/0s and your pearl. And I can show you the thread did not sit in the channel. So always check. Because once you start tightening everything, and if it's not in the channel like that, so you can just hold it between your finger, pull your thread through, and it will stay in the channel. It could be just because it's kind of a bit misshapen. Let me flip that and tighten. There. So go through your rice bead and we will tighten those pearls. There's a bit of space there. We want to make sure we tighten that. There. And pull. Surprise, there's a bit of thread showing here. I might recommend that you put an 11/0 at the ends on each side to prevent that, because you don't want any threads exposed and then you end up with some threadbare. I wonder if I just go through the 11/0 that's there, if it would help it. So now go through your pearl, go through your 3 11/0s, and go through the channel on that side of your wire guardian. So I went through that 11/0. I want to see, yeah, you know what? It tucked the 11/0 close to the pearl so that it's not exposed. So now go down through your wire guardian, through your 3 11/0s, through your pearl, go down through the next 11/0. And I'm going to put my finger and thumb on the wire guardian to prevent that thread from jumping the channel. And look, it tucks it in nicely. So that's perfect. Solutions. I love solutions. We have been trying to get bookings for a flu shot. And my poor wife turned 65 this year. So if you're 65, you are eligible to get the high dose RSV vaccine. But unfortunately, there was none available in our area. So the system wouldn't let her book for the regular flu vaccine. So it was like, that's crazy. You know, pretty much everybody over 65 is not going to get the flu vaccine. So she called the helpline. They couldn't help her. And then clearly it wasn't an IT person and it wasn't a nurse. So they didn't understand the impact. First of all, they didn't understand that it was a glitch in the system. So it expects all senior citizens to sign up for the high dose. But in doing that, it prevents you from signing up for the low dose flu shot. So, yeah, it was a pain in the butt. So we did manage to find a mobile clinic. So I'm just doing knots, and we're going to finish this off and add the clasp. So I'll go through this pearl and not tuck that knot in nicely. I'm going to do one more. My thread is on the wrong side of that This was the beginning of this bracelet, so that's probably why that thread's like that. We're going to fix that right now. We're going to put our knot there. I don't know, I could be sorry about doing that. But okay, so wrap it around once and twice, bring it down close. Put your fingers on the beads so the thread doesn't jump a bead. And go through the pearl. There, lovely. And go through here, and we'll cut that off. There we go. That's lovely. Get our tools. So let's do this. Open this one up. Put that on there. These are tiny, so you have to be gentle with them. I'm just gonna squeeze it that way. Make sure, yeah, that's on nicely. Okay, so now I'm gonna open this one. Just a gentle little twist. You don't want to distort your jump ring. Put that in there. And into that oval jump ring. And gentle folds. And there is the other. Oh, that looks lovely. Oh, that's really, I'm so glad. That's really nice. So here we go. Let's open this. Oh, these are really nice, these clasps. I'm going to order some more of these. Look at that. So there you go. This will probably go on my hand. I have a really small hand. There is this lovely bracelet. The lovely clasp. You can put like a little dangle on it, but I think it's nice just plain like that. So there you go. Thank you so much for joining me, and let me know if you've ever used these beads before. So cool. Take care, everybody. Bye.